Hi everybody, welcome to Magical Gardening with Bernadette. Today I actually wanted to talk about gardening, and as we know our normal theme is with that intent and tying your spirituality into it. So what I wanted to do today is go through my container garden and think about what needs to be done and then what kind of intent will go into it. So let's get to it. These are my Chinese green beans. They grow up to about 3 feet or a yard long. They're called Chinese yard long green beans. Sometimes they're called asparagus plants. I don't know why that is. But as you can see, what I've done is put bamboo poles and actually have these strings so that I'm training the plant up so that it will grow up, because the green beans are very, very long. So think about the intent here. I'm trying to help it. I'm trying to help it along to grow healthy and be sustainable. So you can take a look at that. And what I have here are actually fabric pots that I grow in with, or I should say grow with. And the reason why I use that is it allows air to the roots, and it literally prevents the roots from getting root bound. Here I have tomatoes, but as you can see, there's actually more than just tomatoes growing in here, because the squash plant from the in-ground container, the in-ground garden, actually came up, and I don't know if it shows there, but that's actually a baby squash coming in. And then you can see the multitude of tomatoes that we have coming in, and you can see that there's a few blushing here. So, you know, I have a relationship with these plants, and I'm always, blessing them. I feel they bless me, and as a result, we get this harvest. And since both of these plants are vines, I don't know if most people understand that tomatoes are vines, so we trellis them up on the bamboo sticks, and as a result, it's to save space and all that. But both of them are vines, and it seems that squash plant really is reaching over to be a part of this little forest, as I call. So obviously the energy here is very good, and it tells me that I'm doing the right thing. Here we have carrots that are not ready yet, but did you know that those carrot greens can feed your rodents? So I have a guinea pig that absolutely loves them. And then you can see the lettuce. Lettuce grows in the smallest of places, which tells you that many blessings can be found in the smallest of places around your home. And then here we have more tomatoes, but that one was actually kind of a volunteer. It came up on its own, because we also have these big, large ones that are coming in. So those are slicers, and these are cherries that are down here. So right off the bat, we have a lot of good intention that I'm working with. And if you can just see, that's actually the sunflower from the garden that is down below my container garden up here. And the marigolds. Now that is an African marigold that is about, I don't know, it can get up to 4 feet long. Here are our hot peppers that we have growing here, as well as culinary sage. And I know it's hard to see it, but I actually have lettuce growing in there too. So did you know that anytime you have a little bit of bare space, pop in a lettuce, alrighty? And then here are the green beans, and you can see they have taken over, and in fact, they grew over a tomato plant that I had growing here. So again, part of the work that I do with the spirits of these plants, as you can see, there's a bit of overcrowding. So what does that mean? In order to take care of my plants, I'm going to have to maybe cut away some of these things, maybe cut away some of the things I don't need. We need to water again. I actually watered this morning. And I even have an additional marigold that kind of popped in there, probably due to birds. We also have chipmunks and little skinks, those little lizards that go around. So they're dropping seeds everywhere. So I actually have to water again. I did water this morning. So let's see what we have going on here. You can see the tomatoes. You can see I have another baby green bean. There's lots going on in this plant. This is our cucumber plant, and as you can see up here, we actually have a female plant that looks as if it was pollinated, so it looks pretty good. So I should be getting a really nice harvest from that. We have already gotten quite a few. There goes that marigold here, and look at these Roma tomatoes that are coming in. So really, really thick stem. Nice, strong support that we have here. And at the bottom, I have basil. So anywhere I had space, I threw another plant in. And in fact, right next to it is another basil plant. So my basil is doing really well. So this is our dwarf cherry. It has not produced any food yet. And this is the Bing cherry that we have. Alrighty. Another cherry tomato that we have here. And now, look at this beautiful, beautiful rose plant. So think about what gods or goddesses that would be associated with. Look at the health of this plant. Look how beautiful it is. I wish you could smell this, because it's really quite amazing just how sweet it has that tea rose thing. Now, we have a dwarf variety of tea rose, and we can see some just beginning in that corner there. That's another version. So here goes my strawberries. I actually got a bunch of them off of there this morning. More sunflowers. This one hasn't bloomed yet. But again, this was my throwaway bucket, like where you throw, I was going to actually use it for compost. And look at that. I have a broccoli coming up here. Lemon balm again. Blueberries. The birds did a good job on the blueberries. We have that. Then, of course, I have more roses. And teddy bear sunflowers. That's what this is called. So they finally just came in. You can see they're a dwarf variety. Alrighty, I would say that these are about 3 feet. Maybe they get taller. That one may be about 4 feet. Alrighty, and then my nasturtiums. So let's talk a little bit about growing with intent. What does that mean? Is it that each specific plant has an intention for you, or is it overall? Alrighty. Sometimes I look at the gardens as one big, large organism of which I'm a part of, which sustains me. I cannot live without it. Then there are those that would probably look at each individual plant as having a spirit, an energy, a life force. And I think I'm a bit of both. So when I look at the plants, I'm in awe of them. I look at their resilience. I look at the conditions that they can grow in that we can't. We have to build a structure around us if it's too hot or it's too cold. And I think about how the plants actually sustain us. They give us oxygen. We have a reciprocal relationship, right? Because we breathe out carbon dioxide, they take in the carbon dioxide and give us the oxygen. So we live with them in a symbiotic relationship, right? So we think about those things, and I am really, really in awe of those things. I look at the in-ground garden and the container garden, and obviously we're creating a micro environment, right? That we are the caretakers of. But there's also the universe that we're in that we also are caretakers of. So, it's a good thing to honor the land. So when it comes to intentional gardening, think about what it is that you want to grow. All right? It sounds a little bit like duh, but it really is the truth. So if you take care of your garden will take care of you, and then the energy that you draw to you is positive because you took care of what is important to all of us. Alrighty, and I'm not talking about money, and I'm not talking about growing with money for money, although you can, right? Basil is associated with money as well as other plants. But I think I'm going into things just a little bit deeper. But you can grow all of those plants and herbs and drying them and then use it for your workings, your intentions, your magical workings, your spells, whatever it is that you want to call it with. So for instance, here is an example of what I'm talking about. So this is desert white sage, much different than culinary white sage. I am growing this for its spirit, its ability to protect us. Hopefully it gets large enough so that I feel comfortable with cutting it and then using it as for smudge sticks. But of course I will ask the spirit of that plant if the time is right in order to be able to use it. The plants you could do that with would be lavender. You can use rosemary. Well, not rue. You grow rue basically for magical workings, but I like to have rue grow as opposed to having it dry. Though if you have it dry, I wouldn't burn rue. I would carry it with me like in a mojo bag and everything. Look at the humidity in this air. Well, that's our video for today. Please post any questions or topics that you'd like me to touch on, and we will get working on that. I wanted to show you what we were doing. Obviously, I have a shade cloth on because we have a bit of a heat wave going on here, and the humidity is quite oppressive. I'd love to know what you guys are doing, and if you have any tips for me. I'm not an expert gardener at all, alrighty, but I do my best with a regular schedule of fertilization. Sometimes I use Epsom salts. I use organic bug control procedures, you know, like neem oil and things like that. But if you have other ideas, please let me know what it is that you do, and that also includes the types of plants and for what intention you're growing them with, because this way this community can grow and we can see where this will go at this point. If you like what we see here, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and that will help me get more content out. Alrighty, so all the very best to you. Live your best life possible, and many blessings. Bye-bye.